All right. Hey, okay. Jokes aside, Jay, you had 2 points that I wanted to address. Number one is financial inclusion. Can you
Yes.
please share the light and make it simple for me to understand what exactly financial inclusion is?
Maybe from me, and then also what I see the industry is talking about. Today, I
Okay.
talk about industry first. I think, and again, this disclaimer, this is my own interpretation of what industry is talking about. I see that today's industry is always talking about, as I mentioned earlier on, serving the unbanked. There's a lot of talk about that, right? So perhaps in Philippines, in Indonesia, there's a whole bunch of people who do not have a bank account. So most of the services are like, can I bring some of these through maybe an application to the people in this way? And from there, perhaps I can bring some products and services, financial products and services, micro loans, maybe micro insurance, maybe even insurance savings products to people who do not have a bank account. I think that's what that's at least that's what I've seen the industry moved over the last 3-5 years. Again, I've mentioned it. To me, that's wonderful, but I think that financial inclusion to me has two components. Number one is the upstream. Is the fact that yes, you have access to services, but I think of financial because I started my career in finance. As I think about financial services, I think that a lot of times it is relevant mostly when you already have some savings of sorts. So yes, perhaps one of the product is that is a savings account on mobile phone. Yes, but that also means that you do need to have the ability to save. So to me, I'm always going upstream, right? I'm like, okay, how do we get to the point that the people that we are trying to serve actually has money to save, and they're not worrying day to day about their next meal tomorrow or the school fees of their children. So that's one. And then the other part is maybe this is being a little bit skeptical. Again, I'm just speaking from my own personal view, my own mind. Is that not all financial products are beneficial to everyone.
Mm.
For example, loans. Loans are wonderful, yes, if you know how to use it properly. But can loans also be misused? Uh, as I think about the end user, that could be, right? That could be the case. Um, of course, from an institution point of view, there are ways to mitigate, and that's another conversation on its own, right? Perhaps the ethics of it and all that. But I think again with data point, if I have better data point, perhaps can I then be recommending the right product to the right person. Not that we are going to do, I'm not sure whether we're going to do this in the future or not, or in whatever ways, but just an idea, right? If today I know that you're always hardworking, I know that you've always been performing well in your jobs, and perhaps you even are very proactive to upskill. And in Justin talk about personality, we know that your personality is that you are forward looking, you're honest, you have integrity. Then today you ask for a loan, a micro loan. Can we then give you at a rate that is not a burden on you, but a rate that is empowering? Because from whatever I know about you, if you're asking for a loan, maybe you really need it for an emergency. Maybe your mom is ill, or you need it for whatever reasons. If that is the case, and the likelihood of you returning is much higher, so it's almost like a customized recommendation or customized product. Yeah, that is what I see financial inclusion should be. Again, not saying that we'll do that or not, because today we are very focused on what we do, all about jobs and skills. But that's one example. If you ask me about financial inclusion, wearing not a WeShine hat, but perhaps just an observer of fintech hat.
Fantastic. And second question was, what exactly is your definition of youth unemployment? Because back then, for us, youth unemployment was when we were 16 and we needed a part-time job so we can get extra money. right? And we couldn't find one because we didn't want to work for a fast food chain, or we didn't want to do banquet jobs. But what exactly is youth unemployment?
Yes. University of Cambridge came up with a report, wonderful report, that basically surveyed many of the developing countries, mostly in South Asia, Africa, less in ASEAN. But I think some of these problems are quite common. What is the problem? The problem is that youths are underemployed. I think unemployment is one where you come out, you cannot find a job. Yes. What we are seeing, at least over the last 1.5 years, is that youths are unemployed. Meaning today I may graduate from university or vocational school or wherever I am. I cannot find a job. There's no jobs, right? So end up, I do something that pays the bills, pays for my rent. Many of these are in urban cities, and they're not native to where they stay, so they need to rent a place, and then they just take any job that comes along. I cannot remember the figure off my head, but it's a very high percentage of youth that are undergoing this type of situation. And there lies this opportunity of, again, I mentioned that sometimes if you look at the job market as a whole, it's one of the most inefficient market still. So can better data, can better recommendation algo help solve some of these problems? We think so, and confidently so. Because matching, again, if I think about jobs, not just about physical, but digital remote, it is a matter of finding the right person. It's like dating, right? I mean, to me, all along, since my younger days, I've always felt that job search is about dating. And it's about, today, if I want to find something that suits me, what do I do? Where do I go? Who do I trust? And so if better data point and relevant data point, we have done some work. I think the data, the saying goes, garbage in, garbage out. So the data has to be relevant in the first place. If we are able to get the relevant data, I think downstream in this matching process, you'll be a lot more relevant and useful. And again, down the road, I think midterm, we hope that this can even be cross-border type of matching. Now, gig economy is something that came up, and a lot of people ask me about that. Again, I think that gig economy is good, but perhaps what can be done a little bit further on top of gig economy. So gig is like freelance job, right? Today, I want to find somebody to do a logo. I go on a platform. I find somebody in another country who can do it for me at a much more, I would say, perhaps affordable price. So that's gig. And then once off, I pay you the money, that's it. Some of them have gig a little bit longer term. That's more like business process outsourcing. So I think all those are good things. One thing that in my heart matters, which is this sense of security. Because I think, again, not everybody is suitable to be a gig worker. A lot of times when we work, and when we are seeking employment, one of the things that we are looking for is a sense of security. You do not really want, I mean, gig to me is more like a freelance, more, you need somebody who is a little bit more entrepreneurial to say, I'm willing to take a risk. I'm willing to go into this. If my business is not good, then I have no money. But I think not everybody is suitable for that. I think it takes a certain kind of people to do entrepreneurship. And many people ask me, would you encourage? I do encourage, but I think it's a very hard thing to do entrepreneurship. So because of that, and I know that most people are not suitable. So I say that the default answer I always give is no. don't do a startup. Don't start a business unless after I tell you no, you don't care about me, you go ahead anyway. Then yes, you're the right guy. Same thing. I think gig economy requires a little bit of that attitude. Again, not everyone is suitable for that. So if we can start thinking about employment cross-border, but not just about gig, but saying that, yes, you are gainfully employed, you have benefits, you have health benefits, you have insurance and things like that. that would be ideal in my mind. Is it easy to get there? I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, but this is again a bit of a visioning. I think that would be wonderful to give people that kind of security and dignity in work.
Yeah. Thanks you so much for that. That is a wonderful, wonderful point that you are bringing up now. That jobs are no longer necessarily focused on a local or hyper local kind of an kind of a setting, but because of technology, we're now able to then find employability and not just get the talent in, but also send the talent out. So that
Yeah,
Singapore in itself can also show how much talent that we have. In the previous episode of the podcast, I was talking to Sunny. Sunny Pang is an actor. He's a stuntman. He's a stunt director, action choreographer. He's on Netflix, man. How many Singaporeans can you say have gone to Netflix? You know what I'm saying? So the point here is that even in any scene that we have, I believe Singapore has wonderful talent, and if we shine, can definitely help them to shine. That would be wonderful.